You can keep your computer in the middle.
Oh, sorry.
It's just it's okay if you are.
No. Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Fix. We're running a little bit late right now, and we also have a massive slate of events to cover today. This is the Loshak in the Bag Show. You're watching SBR videos. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. Please go into the description box of this video and click on all the links. Everything you see, just click on it all of it. It really helped Jimmy and the Bag and I out. Welcome to the Loshak in the Bag Show. Today is November 1st. We got a lot of shit to cover. Shout out to the entire Low Bag family. We're not going to be able to read too many comments and too many shout outs today because we got so much shit to talk about. We will just quickly review yesterday. How much did we collectively nail that Toledo game? We nailed everything. Jimmy the Bag. And I was, as usual, plagued by fears and lack of balls. I bet the friggin' under on that game, and it took me like 15 minutes in the afternoon show to finally say, okay, I'll go official with the under. Of course, the under cashed. We all liked Toledo last night, and that one cashed easily. I was talking about the Ball State under and Toledo first half, even though the line was getting bet up. Those both cashed. I didn't have the balls to give that. I should have been like 3-0 or 4-0 on that one game. Instead, I just had one play. I'm happy that I had the balls, though, to give the under, though. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I could have had no balls and given no plays. Imagine how frustrated and pissed I would have been. A lot of people were close to nailing that final score. Ron Lofton said 45-10 final score in the Toledo game. And what did I say? You guys remember? What did I say in yesterday's show? We were discussing it. I said the game could easily see a situation where the Toledo team total goes over, but the full game goes under, and that is exactly what happened.
Yeah, I saw that you guys nailed college football. Very impressive. I'm going to be very slow today.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't left the office in, 35 hours or 40 hours or some shit. I got a few hours of sleep in the office on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
I have been capping horses nonstop. I got a shirt from the storage, an Intertop shirt from the storage. I'm going to be slow, and I'm not going to be very helpful. I'm going to have the depth charts up. I will be helping with the chat, the depth charts. I probably shouldn't be here. I'm almost done recording my Championship Saturday video. My Future Stars Friday video is out. I know this is an enormous card that should have been hammered, but I only get the breeders once a year, and I really have to put all my energy towards that. So I'm gonna be a little flighty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna help do the best I can helping. I will be on the depth charts and the injuries and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But and America says, Jimmy, go get some sleep, buddy. No time. I will sleep tonight when all the work is done for my Breeders' Cup videos. And don't forget, we have the Breeders' Cup competition, free to enter, $700 available to you. That's at sportsbookreview.com on the SBR forum. But I'm ready to get to work and to help as much as I can.
And I'm going to be doing UFC 230 later on today. And also, what did I say last night? You guys remember? I'm good at NBA second halves. I said if Dallas is down by, 6 or so at the half and they're catching a couple of points, I'll be on them. And I was. I will also admit, though, that I did take Knicks on the second half, which was a terrible play. So I actually had overall a losing day last night, despite the fact that I nailed the Toledo game and nailed a couple of the NBA second half. Somehow I was the losing day. But sometimes that happens the other way, too, where you're like, where you feel like you had just a bunch of losers and somehow you wound up positive. So, it happens. And I guess let's get into it. We got a lot of shit to get to, and I'd love to address all the comments. Just don't have time. All right, let's start off with NHL. We're going to go for NHL to about 30 minutes past the hour, then do NBA for 45 past the hour, college football 50 past the hour. We'll spend 5 minutes on NFL. We'll give Jim 10 minutes for horses, and then we will wrap it up. All right, so yes. All right.
And Al Mack crushed both AHL dogs last night.
Man,
he's been telling us how money these dogs have been, and he's going on the Ontario Reign again tonight. Shout out to Al Mack and his AHL.
Al Mack, I was sitting there about to click the link on both of those. I'm about to click accept on both of the dogs. And for some reason I didn't, because I've tailed some people recently and gotten bit, So, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. I should have did it.
Should have done it.
Yeah, I should have did it. All right, shout out to you, Al Mack. All right, so let's get into it. Native Queen, the low baggers are the best. We always have time to give a quick 2-second shout out to Native Queen, no matter how much shit is on the card.
Absolutely.
All right.
Ski Prophet joining us as well. Odar Lira out of Venezuela, deep from Detroit. Let's get to work.
All right, so NHL, we've got a massive card there. Let's just throw up the NHL record just because I am damn proud of this. Jim, you had a winner last night. Nice
Why
job.
you act surprised?
What?
I could hear in your fucking tone you're surprised.
I was surprised because of the game, not because of you, because I was like, that was a
you
tough
know
game.
I haven't slept. I haven't slept.
Yes.
I'm on edge.
And also because the market moved against you. But you were right. You know what I mean? It was the market moved down. We saw that when you made the pick, Jim. Calm down. Do you mind if I make my calm down joke right now? I love making that calm down.
Sure.
It's the most obnoxious, insulting. Calm down. No, yes, I was surprised again because if you remember in the show yesterday, you gave the pick, and then 10 minutes later, the market had a huge move against you. But who was right and who was wrong? You were right. The market was wrong. Congratulations, Jimmy the Bag. Anyone who beats the market when the market is anyone who beats the market in any way, shape, or form is impressive.
And look at my man Clint. This guy has been on fire, man. He had Canucks to win by exactly 2 at plus 850.
Very nice. Very nice. I'm surprised because he's just not a good handicapper. That's totally different from I'm kidding around. That's a joke. I'm rolling with the jokes now. All right, we got a lot of shit. I'd rather just do jokes than cap this entire massive
That's all
card.
I can do here to help.
Oh my God!
Brian S says good job on the BC video, the Breeders' Cup video. You know what, Brian S, thank you from a fellow horse capper. We shot that at about 1 a.m. Sadly, this one we started at 6:30 this morning. So I had the Saturday's Breeders' Cup video will be better than Friday's. We're putting it all together, but we're going to have a big. And I felt like we'll talk about it in the horsing, but I felt like even though we were dealing with 2-year-olds where there's so much volatility, that the favorites on the 2-year-old scene look stronger than the favorites in the older horses scene. But we'll get to that later.
All right, so I'll tell you what I bet on the overnight line. I did take a shot with the Rangers Anaheim under and the Philly Kings under. Obviously, the Philly Kings game is tricky because the offenses are bad, but the goalies are bad, right? So I took an under on that one. Rangers, Anaheim. Obviously, Anaheim has been horrible, and now we're seeing them as like a minus 150 favorite. So that has me a little bit scratching my head here. It's gone down a little bit, but Anaheim in the minus 140s. I don't care how bad the Rangers are. Should Anaheim be that big of a favorite against anyone? I know, Jim. I know you didn't have time to look into it.
I can hammer all these games.
Yeah,
but I have to go off the top of my head.
Yeah, but I mean, Anaheim. They've lost like 6 in a row or something. I think Georgiev starting for the Rangers. Fine. The Rangers just beat the team that you consider to be the best team in the NHL on the road. I know that it might be in a letdown spot for the Rangers, but how in the hell is Anaheim a minus 150 favorite here?
Well, they are getting Silverberg back, and he's enormously important. This is a new Duck team. Remember the old Ducks team that was led by Getzlaf and Perry? Now, this is still led by Getzlaf, but now Ricard Raquel is so important, and Yakov Silverberg are so important. This is an Anaheim Duck team that's historically very good at home. The Rangers coming in off of a impressive win at San Jose would be considered possibly a letdown spot. I can completely understand if somebody sees the minus 160 and says, well, that's not right. Anaheim does not deserve to be that big of a favorite. You're absolutely right. And they don't. This is a healthy Rangers squad other than Clayson and McQuaid, who are the 6th and 7th defensemen on the Rangers depth chart. These forwards we've talked a lot about, especially Zibanejad, but these forwards have skill and speed. A lot of teams right now are going after Kevin Hayes. You'll know when the Rangers are going to be thinking about the future and not this year at all when they get rid of Kevin Hayes, because a lot of people are looking at that player right now. He's a big, tall, fast centerman who can do a lot of things for a lot of different teams.
So you think that Anaheim's going to maybe turn a little bit of a corner in the future?
Definitely. They need to get healthy. They're just losing. They just have too many players out of the lineup. Right now, Josh Manson is going to miss Tuesday's game. He's day-to-day. He's an extremely important defenseman to this group of young defensemen. Cam Fowler, Hampus Lindholm, Brandon Montour are very important young defensemen to this team. The Ducks are a team that's sort of playoff built, coming up, playing at home against a Rangers team that's young forwards, weak defensively. I can understand why the Ducks are the favorite. I can understand why someone would want to take a shot against them, but I wouldn't do it here.
Yeah, I was. I'm looking at all the comments that are coming in. Al Mack talking about the unders at home with Toronto. He likes the first period under at home, first period overs on the road with Toronto, and of course the Columbus San Jose first period over is looking tempting as well. Columbus has been money on first period overs all year long, and I was liking the over in this game in general. Columbus against San Jose. Let me just find my notes here. San Jose's off the big loss. Columbus is off of a home loss to Detroit. So both of these teams are off of losses where they probably are a little bit salty and should have won. Does that mean we'll see an over or clamp down on defense? Because I was thinking maybe an over, full game and first period. What do you think?
And what are you getting at the total on?
It's a standard 6.
Yeah, this is a tough spot for Bobrovsky, who desperately needs to step up, or he's going to lose his job from Korpisalo. We know that Korts has no patience whatsoever. Bobrovsky's 2-5-0 with a 3.58 goals against average and 882 save percentage. He needs to step up. Why are the Jackets having so much problems defensively with the return, including the return of Seth Jones? It's very confusing. This is a very confusing team so far. One thing that we know is that Brandon Dubinsky is very responsible as a defensive forward and a face-off winner. He's not being in the lineup. But yeah, I don't see I wish the Jackets were coming in a little more confident, but I think the Sharks smashed them in this situation. What is the money line right now for the Sharks?
Well, the Sharks are, minus 150. The Sharks were a massive favorite against the Rangers. Last minute, I was convinced to take them in my last winning day in the NHL, and that reduced my overall day from +4 units, +2.5 units. Sharks are, again, a big favorite here. It's gotten bet down about 10 units, but Columbus is not should Columbus be this big of a dog here?
Wow, and Al Mack reminding everybody about the Winnipeg Florida game, how it's going to be played on international ice. Good, important reminder. I told you this. The Sharks had 10 out of 12 games at home. I will put my money where my mouth is. Joe Thornton returned to the lineup. I will take the San Jose Sharks. I'm going to have to start a new sheet here. Sorry.
Okay.
I'm going to take the San Jose Sharks. I'm telling you, if you take them in all 10 of these home games, -1.5, you will be rewarded. And I expect to be rewarded right now. I also expect some of these players to start tuning out Court. He's loud, obnoxious, arrogant, ignorant, and a lot of teams will tune him out at some point. And I'm surprised that he's lasted so long with Columbus. I will start with Shark -1.5.
Loud, obnoxious, arrogant, ignorant. Maybe we get him on SBR videos as a hockey analyst, right? It sounds like he'd fit right in here. Sounds like loud, obnoxious, arrogant, ignorant, right? Right?
What do I get on -1.5?
+178, Jimmy the Bag. All right, and what do you think about the over here? Is San Jose going to be an offensive team? Is Columbus going to be... What's your take on the over in this one?
My confusion with the over is what's going on in Columbus. They're supposed to be a defensively responsible team, and they're just not showing it. And Merrick says something is wrong with the Sharks. Something's wrong with Sharks. I think this is a stay-off game. Columbus can explode offensively. I'm telling you, nothing is wrong with the Sharks. They have to figure out a different type of flow when they add Erik Karlsson with Brent Burns. This is an incredible hockey team. Joe Thornton comes off an injury. He's going to be playing center, demanding I know he's a pass-first player, but just changing everything. When these guys get rolling, this is a completely healthy Shark squad. Trust me, they are going to start rolling. Tomor says Sharks aren't consistent, but they've been solid off losses. Kevin Pine says, Jim, I know you'll be fading the Habs today. You know what? I've been focusing all my time on horses. We'll break down each game together individually, and I'll make plays, but I'm not coming in with any preconceived notions at this point.
All right, well, I'll go back to this one more time. Columbus, San Jose, first period over, 1.5, -123. San Jose can score when they get going, can't they?
Yes, but I don't see them as being a top 10 offensive team. No, they've got to play. They've got to excel on the power play smart hockey, pounce when it's available, and play smart hockey. I don't see them as being this electric team offensively.
But the goalies, Bobrovsky confirmed and Martin Jones unconfirmed, they're vulnerable, right?
But they shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be?
It's too young. The season is the sample size is too small to say that Bobrovsky's bad and that Martin Jones had a very bad start to the year. They should not be vulnerable. This should not be two teams that are going to go 6-5 or 7-6. But if you look at how they've been playing, the over makes tons of sense.
Yeah. All right, I'll go back to one more time. First period over 1.5, -123. Another game that has that's caught my eye here is Colorado against Calgary. Calgary off of 2 low-scoring road wins, and Colorado, of course, has been playing very well. Calgary's been a big overtrender at home, so I was thinking that maybe Colorado -1. First period over, or the Colorado team total over, maybe Colorado -1. What do you think? I know the Avalanche are great on their top line, and then it tails off significantly after that, right?
And now Tyler Jost dealing with a head injury. JT Comfort is all for the Avalanche, dealing with the concussion. Maybe be able to practice with contact on Wednesday, maybe not. And Andrew Ghetto already out of the lineup. That's tough for this team. You're taking away depth from a team that has no forward depth. I know Colorado is going. They're rolling right now, and that first line is the best line in hockey, arguably. The Bruins' first line will have something to say about that. This Calgary Flames team seems to be sort of a Jekyll and Hyde group, but they're playing more sound defensively. That was a very impressive back-to-back in Toronto and Buffalo. And I would be hesitant to fade this Flames team at home. I'd be hesitant to make a move on either side in this spot because we know that the Avalanche are going to be great when they have last change, and the Flames were embarrassed in that last homestand by Pittsburgh 9-1. Now, yes, they came back and looked good, better against the Capitals. They had a really nice road trip. I feel like they know that they owe their fans something. This is going to be a tough game to pick a side on.
So you don't necessarily. So you're saying that Colorado's starting to have some injuries that are concerning to you?
Well, they just don't have a lot of depth. So
Right.
when you take anything away from that, now I've said the same thing about Vancouver, and they keep rolling. Eddie Euler says Flames back from Buffalo with Avs waiting in Calgary. Eddie Euler says numbers favor Colorado. Jake Paskey saying Varlamov is playing lights out. Bookie Smasher, my Avs are killing it, but this could be a tough spot. The Avs are playing awesome hockey. I'm still shocked that they hung the 86.5 point total for over-under, and I jumped on the over. And people weren't jumping all over it, why they thought they'd be 6 points worse this year when clearly McKinnon and Rantanen and Landeskog are coming into their own. It's very shocking.
So you like Calgary defensively, though?
I do, and I think they're going to get better. They got Hamonic back. Look at this depth chart. I think it's so strong. This top four, Giordano, Hannafin, Brody, Hamonic. Now, Hannafin was let go by by Carolina, and that was so confusing. Truly a very confusing. I thought that this guy was a top four stud. So clearly there's stuff going on that I don't know about. I feel like this is a dangerous spot. Gabe Paskey says Flames have to be very tired. Eddie Euler leaning under 6.
I was leaning under 6 as well. And I was leaning Colorado, money line or maybe a shot with a -1 line. Or maybe Colorado first period.
That makes sense, and Tomor nails it. It's never bad to bet against a team at home the first game off a successful road trip. And I think off of any road trip. Maybe unless it's a very bad road trip, but I agree with all that.
And so if Colorado has a strong top line, just for people who don't know, who aren't like super familiar with hockey, and I would put myself in that group, if a team has a strong top line but not great depth, does that mean that they're probably, you would figure, be a better bet in the first period than in the other periods because their top line is likely to play more in the first period?
No, I don't think that's the case. No, I think they're always going to be
switching in and out, right?
But they're always going to be in a tough spot where they have last line change. I don't know why first period would be any more. They'd be any less or more susceptible than in any other period. But we know that the Avalanche are like a team like Dallas, where they have that giant first line. But unlike Dallas, these guys, McKinnon, Landeskog, Rantanen, wanted Duchesne out of the dressing room. As soon as they got him out of the dressing room, they created a really good feel in there. Everybody's fighting for each other, playing within each other. This is a good vibe and a good young hockey team.
And how is Colorado defensively, Jim?
Well, let's look at it. Tyson Barrie is someone that we've always believed in offensively. Eric Johnson, their number 2, is the number 1 overall pick who is never played like one, but still is a good. Samuel Girard is that stud that they got, the one stud that they got, the young stud they got in that Duchesne trade. Then they have Nemeth, Zadorov, and Cole. I really like that 4-5-6. I think this is an underrated defensive group.
All right, I'm going to take the under 6 here. That's what I was leaning. Calgary, of course, has been a big overtrender at home, but a tiny sample size. I'm going to take the under. Just trying to decide if I want to take the 6 or buy the 6.5 at Pinnacle. Let me see where.
Our friend Udon Porn, Ratana Fact, he says Avs good play tonight, but leaning over the 6.
All right,
let's keep rolling.
Yeah, let's keep rolling. All right, I'm going to take. Let me just think. All right, I'm definitely going to take I'm going to take the first period under on this one. It's 1.5 plus 110, and I'm also going to take the full game under 6. I mean, is Calgary likely to explode offensively? No, right? They're not that kind of team, right?
No, but they have depth now for the first time. They were in that group with Dallas and Colorado last year with no second line, and it was crazy because they have this stud in Tkachuk who's capable of building a second line. That's why they made the trade. They bring in Lindholm. Now I know Lindholm goes to the first line. The real question with this Flames team is what the hell is going on with James Neal? He just had, so here, the first thing that says when you click on him in RotoWorld, hasn't contributed much so far. 2 goals, 3 points in 13 games. Certainly not the level of production the Flames were hoping for. He was a guy who was supposed to add depth to that second line. But I've always thought that Bennett could be better than he showed. I mean, he was a very, very high draft pick. Michael Backlund is a very trustworthy second line centerman. Yes, I think this team will be better offensively as the season moves on.
All right, I will take a shot with the 6.5 minus 130. I'll buy to 130 at Pinnacle here, 6.5 minus 130, and that's it. And I'm also leaning Colorado here, but not sure if I want to pull the trigger on this one. All right, now let's talk about two of the other. Let me see. We might as well look at the plays. Well, I guess we have to talk about Winnipeg and Florida. You want to play on this one? Someone was saying that Winnipeg was a good play. I was thinking that maybe Florida should not be a dog here. They definitely got bet down from plus 125 to about plus 110. This, of course, is a game that is being played in Finland. Right?
Yeah, you wonder what kind of pressure Line A is under. You wonder if that is going to be helpful or difficult.
Mm-hmm.
This Florida team is flying under the radar here. They've had a bad start to the season. I think that these dogs can be dangerous here. Now, they're very slight dogs. I'm surprised. I would have thought they would have been bigger dogs. Let's take a quick look at the depth charts and see.
You would have thought that Florida would be a bigger dog.
I would have, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Definitely. Let's see if we can get anything out of the depth chart here. Injuries to Florida are to bottom forwards that mean nothing to this team. This is a pretty healthy team. Ekblad certainly hasn't turned the corner that we were expecting, but Matheson is a tough hockey player who is very useful.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we go down to Winnipeg, I'm surprised. This is a completely healthy team, and they should be absolutely rolling.
They should, huh?
They should be.
And what's up with Hellebuck? He hasn't done that well this year, has he?
No, and we were questioning whether he would or not in this situation because he's a guy who has earned everything he's been given in the NHL,
Mm-hmm.
and then now he was given the starting spot this summer. 4-4-1, 3.00 goals against, average .907 save percentage this season. Very interesting. It's a tough spot to cap these games on a different ice rink. I mean, I guess
how do they tend to do in Finland?
Well, the simple thing you would do is you would look at which team has more European players and back that team. If you were to do that, Florida would be the squad that you would
Mm-hmm.
back. These are players there. If you look at their top six, they all grew up on that big ice rink. You got Barkov, Trocheck. So sure, the left wingers are North American and Canadian, really.
I was thinking about an over here. What do you think about that?
It's very dangerous to take overs on the big ice. Extremely dangerous.
Why?
Just because when I played, I always thought, man, get us on the big ice, we'll start scoring goals. For whatever reason, the goal scoring dropped slightly on the big ice. You'd think that there was more space, but and I guess I'm just too lack of sleep to be able to really explain.
No, that's
it,
okay, Jim. You're doing phenomenal.
The larger international ice doesn't lend itself to higher scoring when you would expect with extra space that it would. And whenever I played on the larger ice, the games were always lower scoring. And when we go to the Olympics and we put these dream teams together and we're like, look at all the scoring, there always seems to be less scoring than we'd expect. Al Max says power plays are more important. That is very important. I should have every time when I come in here, I have everybody shorthanded power play exactly their goals for and goals against up here, and I don't right now because I'm dealing with the horses and I'm
there you go, Al Mack. I'm on the Jets in first period over. I was about to ask Al Mack directly what he thought about scoring and the first period on this one, and now he's already answered it. All right, I will take the first period over as well. That's the way I was leaning.
Teddy B says, is that actually proven though, Loshak and Jimmy? Yes. When you look at the highest scores in all the Swedish Elite League and all these leagues in Europe, they're always down. So when we had the strike and our best players went over to Europe, the guys who managed to get to a point a game were the best top 10 players in the NHL, were guys who averaged over a point. Very few could do that. The guys who were our top scorers would go over there and put up like 22 points in 30 games. As soon as they went over to the bigger ice, for whatever reason, their production dropped.
All right, well, I'm going to take Winnipeg, Florida, first period over 1.5, minus 127. That's a Pinnacle. That's an official pick. We only have 3 more minutes for NHL. Pittsburgh Islanders is interesting. Obviously, the Islanders went into Pittsburgh and got a big win. Now is this a big revenge spot for Pittsburgh, and we take Pittsburgh minus 1.5 here? What do you think, Jim? Is that how this shit works?
No, not with the Islanders at home. We've talked about it time and time again, how much value you'll get from the Islanders at home. Now, that's generally against Western Conference teams, not Eastern Conference teams. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this, but I'm not just going to make a simple play saying, yes, Pittsburgh has revenge, yes, this and yes, that. The Islanders are a sneaky, dangerous team at home, and a team I want to figure out a way to back. In fact, if anything happens here, I would say that the under should be the play. I would think that the Pittsburgh is embarrassed from a defensive standpoint. Remember when they came out on that road trip, it was all defense. We're playing bad defensively. We got to tighten things up defensively. And after that barn burner of a game that against Edmonton, then they clamped down and started playing better defensively. I think that they needed that reminder. I guess they got a little too excited playing for their city after the devastating attack.
There you go. Al Mack, thank you for being in the comment chat section, Al Mack. Look at this. Al Mack says, I really like the first period over. That's the way I was thinking as well. Goalie's going to take some time to get used to the geometry, and both teams have snipers. All right, we got 2 more minutes.
Listen to Gate Pass Key quickly when we're talking about the big ice surface. It says the big ice surface creates an easier chance to defend systems and play positional. Goalies love the big ice, tend to be less anxious. When I played goalie, I hated small, clogged up rinks.
Interesting shit. All right, well, I'm taking the first period over.
Gate Pass Key says ice guys are hitting the under in the Pens game. That makes perfect sense to me. When this Pittsburgh team challenges themselves defensively, they play tighter and more in control. I'm going to go with that. Makes absolute sense to me. I'm going to take the under 6.5 in the Islanders.
You want that
Penguins
one?
Game? I do.
The under 6.5. All right, let me just move on to find it. The under 6.5 in Pittsburgh Islanders. Let me just find it. New York Islanders, sorry. Pittsburgh Islanders. Just so much shit today. Best line we can give you, line shopping here at SBRodds.com. Wow, minus 101. Under 6.5, minus 101. Current line at Bet Online. Very nice, Jimmy the Bag. 6.5,
David
minus
Stewart
101.
saying, my buddy Jimmy Reed has Isles versus Pens. He said Isles are rolling right now. They certainly have figured out this. Trotz has got them rolling, and we knew that maybe out of the gate, Barzal would take a little bit too much attention. He seems to be getting a ton of attention, but other guys are stepping up.
Okay, and then let's quickly just talk about Washington and Montreal. Brooks Orpik has a lower body injury, and I think he's going to be out. Right? He's a defenseman.
Sorry,
right?
Just quickly, Reggie says I'm pretty sure they scale down the ice to NHL size. They don't.
Okay, defenseman. We're talking about the Capitals game because we got to move to NBA in 1 minute. Orpik out. I was thinking maybe Montreal team total over, and maybe just the over in the Washington-Montreal game. What do you think about that?
I wouldn't use Orpik as the reason that you would take an over here. He's become less and less used. He's not a top 4 defenseman anymore on this team. So don't let the fact that Orpik's out really have too much.
I was leaning over anyway, though.
Okay, good.
What do you think?
I think that is Price confirmed for Montreal?
For Montreal, hold on 1 second. Yes, Price confirmed.
This is the type of game that Price salivates over.
Really?
All he wants to do is take on Ovechkin on the power play. He'll be talking about it to his guys. This is the type of game where he expects to step up. Will he do it? I don't know, but he's had a great start to the season, and I would be very.
So you like
nervous.
Price then?
Price has been very impressive this year, and I was wondering whether he would be or not. He's been very good.
And what about the Montreal team total over? Holtby is definitely a little bit vulnerable right now, isn't he?
You know, with the Capitals, I love overs.
Right.
Holtby, I find very vulnerable. He went on a little run in the playoffs, and some of these veterans are able to do that. Now, he looked bad against Edmonton. I guess not bad, 28 saves on 31 shots. Yeah, 4-2-1, 3.41 goals against average, 888 save percentage. You know, this Capitals team at home, we're going to get a ton of value fading them. Holtby's questionable. Now this Capitals team can score.
The Caps are on the road, though.
Yes, exactly. But I just mean like when they're at home, they're going to be big favorites.
Right.
And Holtby's so questionable, we're going to get a ton of value there.
All right, I will add on Montreal team total over 2.5 minus 131. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I'm going to quickly check a Heritage, see if it's a little bit better here, but 2.5 minus 131. And I'd also be leaning first period over, but you like Price tonight.
It's not that I'm saying I like Price tonight. I'm just saying that this is the type of goalie who isn't like, oh no, Ovechkin's coming. He's like, oh good. Right. I can't wait to have Ovechkin line up against me in the power play. I can't wait to come out and challenge him. He gets excited by these things.
All right, in the evening show, I might add on some more NHL plays, but for now, I'm just going to take Montreal team total over 2.5 minus 130, and I am also going to take the first period over in this Washington-Montreal game as well, and that will be minus 118 over 1.5 minus 118. That's the current line at Pinnacle. I know we're already over. I wanted to end this at 30 minutes past the hour, but there's so many games here. Let me just check. All right, Dallas, Toronto. We'll talk about that one later. Buffalo, Ottawa. I remember there was something about that game that I was liking. I was thinking about the under. Can Ottawa tighten up on defense?
Yes, I think they can. Let's take a look at this depth chart really quickly because some of these guys are crucial to them moving forward, and that's the problem. Yes, I love Shabbat, Ceci. I love them both, but Barecki and Harper are out. Is Barecki confirmed to be out? Yeah, suspended. These guys are just you can't take the depth away from this Ottawa defense, and then you're asking Shabbat and Ceci to play 30 odd minutes. it's dangerous to take unders when you take the defense away from the Senators.
All right, and then quickly, I got to make a decision here on Philly and LA.
And just so you know that Jim Tobleson, season ticket holder for the Sabres, who's very critical about this hockey team, is taking the Sabres on the puck line tonight.
Really? So he doesn't like Ottawa here, and you're down on Ottawa as well.
They're a terrible team.
They're a terrible
and Tomor
team.
says Ottawa has been the best over team in the league, and that makes sense, especially now.
All right, and then just quickly, Philly and LA Kings. I was thinking about the under buying up to 6. Of course, Philly beat a weak Anaheim team last out, but they were losing before that. I'm thinking under because I'm just seeing vulnerable goaltending, low scoring offenses. What do you think?
We're going to learn about Jack Campbell here. Jonathan Quick now on the IR, and he's going to be out for a long period of time. We're going to see if he can be the man. It's easy, as we saw with Kemper. Kemper had no problem filling in for Johnny Quick. But when he had to do it for 10 or 15 games in a row, he started struggling.
All right, I'm going to take the under here in Philly and LA Kings. It's 5.5, but I'm going to go to Pinnacle right now and buy to 6. I'm going to take the under 6 minus 126. The under 6 minus 126. Philly and the LA Kings. We'll talk about NHL a lot more in the evening show, but right now we have to move on. We're 4 minutes over for NHL. Now let's move on to NBA. Jimmy the Bag, you want to show your NBA record? It's good, right?
Sure.
All right, let's throw the NBA record up there. I don't know how much you looked at the games tonight. There were 3 games that had overnight lines, and then 3 games that didn't. I only looked at the games that had overnight lines, and obviously, I'm going to second half. I'm doing well again this year, and I'm going to be watching and waiting for my pregame lines to make my plays, my decisions in the late show. We have OKC against Charlotte. Charlotte off of 3 straight covers, super high scoring at home. OKC also going over. So I was thinking that maybe the first half over or an over would be a no-brainer play there. Sacramento absolutely rolling. Atlanta absolutely terrible. ATS, maybe Sacramento once again is a good play. First half, first quarter, maybe the Atlanta team total under. That's what I was thinking about. Any comments coming in on NBA? Anyone have any opinions on any of this shit?
Yes, Dan Kelly coming in. NBA total under 58 minus 105 in the second quarter.
Wow.
Oklahoma City versus Charlotte Hornets. That's the second quarter under 58 from Dan Kelly in today. And first half Charlotte minus a half at minus 110. Charlotte's rolling at home, and Oklahoma City Thunder turned a corner against the Clippers. I think that Dan has a very sharp play taking Charlotte early. It almost feels like a situation where it's Charlotte first half, OKC second half. But I think trusting that first half play on Charlotte is a very sound move. I like both of those plays. Now, I can't, when Dan's spreadsheets are giving you a second quarter play, that's his gift and his skill, I can't really comment on that.
Right. And actually, sorry, just to go back to NHL very quickly, someone said, JP said, did I hear that, did I read Philly's goalies are solid? No, Brian Elliott is a big question mark, or should he get better? What do you think?
No, Elliott
is bad.
Holtby will soon be where Elliott is right now. Elliott is just extremely questionable at all times. No, he's not getting a lot of help.
Yeah. He's
not getting a lot of help. And if you know anything about these Flyer forwards, other than Couturier, they're offensive guys that want to play offensive. Giroux just doesn't back check. He's not defensively as responsible as you'd like him to be.
So you think I made a mistake taking an under on that game?
I feel like with the Flyers are always going to be a dangerous team to take unders, but we've seen them come through with them.
Yeah.
So you don't need to second. I don't want you. There's no reason for you to second guess it.
Right.
But I'm not making any underplays on this Flyers team at the moment.
Okay. So Marino says I'm on Philly -5. Sixers are struggling against top teams like Toronto, but much better at home against mediocre teams like the Clippers. Are the Clippers a mediocre team that maybe Philly rolls here?
Maybe the Philadelphia Sixers are going to struggle on the road, and maybe they're going to show holes that we haven't seen when they've been at home. They got on a nice little run. What happened in the second half? I wasn't watching that game, and they were rolling until the Thunder took over. And I need to go over tape of that game because I'm not entirely sure what happened with this Clippers team. If there's any kind of reasonable explanation, I do know that Mbah Moute wasn't in the lineup. He's hopeful to return tonight. He will help a lot.
Oh, fuck. King Darryl Lyles says I like the over in Kings Flyers. Fuck it. All right, go ahead, Jim. Sorry.
No problem. I can understand why Darryl would like that. It's easy, as I said, it's easy to come in and be a spot starter. But when you've got to take the ball and roll with it. In fact, I find the Flyers quite appealing the more we talk about it and the more I kind of start thinking about that
We can't.
game.
God, we're just a couple of fucking hockey junkies, aren't we, Jimmy the Bag?
I find the Flyers very appealing. I think I'm going to jump on them 1 minus 1.5. I'm not going to lock that in right now. I'm going to, if I get a chance, put some more time into it, but I think that's a pretty appealing spot.
Al Hard, I love this guy, says, today is my birthday, Pete and Jimmy. Could you give me a solid pick? But I'm playing my local bookie, so it has to be a full game or total. No pressure. Yes, my birthday pick for Al Hard is the next total that I give that Al Hard thinks is a stupid play. That is what I recommend you pound and pound. And Al Hard is great. Al Hard is a guy who every time I fucking give an opinion on a play and Al Hard tries to warn me off of it, he's always right, and I never listen. He's always right, and I never listen. That is my lock for you, Al Hard. Al Hard is the next totals play that I give in one of these shows that you think is stupid. Pound it. Pound the hell out of the opposite side. Pound the hell out of the side that you like here. Yes, I will give you an official birthday pick. The birthday picks just keep on rolling, Jim.
They do.
Keep on rolling. Birthday picks, they just keep on rolling. Yes, I will give you a solid pick. Al Hard. I'm going to try to figure something out so he wants to play. So it has to be full game or total. Yes, full game or total. No point buying either. I will think about that. I will do it. Al Hard. All right, let's move on. Although those are tougher markets to beat. I'm looking at all my plays. First periods, team totals, buying goals here and there. That's my record overall is positive overall in all sports because I stick to markets that are, for the most part, that are easier to beat than the tough markets. You know what I'm saying? So Al Hard wants something on just a full game or total. I'll give it, but those are the tougher markets. You know what I'm saying, Jim?
I do know what you're saying. I have to go back to Claude Giroux.
God, and Nutflush Allen says, Pete, ice guys like the over in the Flyers. Fuck!
Claude Giroux talked about how important this road trip was for the team, about getting them together and believing in themselves. I'm actually not going to take the reverse puck line here. You know what? I'm going to spend a little more time. The Flyers are a bet I'm going to make. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do it on the money line or the puck line, but I can see them rolling through this.
Joe Lucari says, love it. Jimmy's too tired to laugh. Is that true? I made him laugh earlier. I made him. Remember when I went, calm down, calm down. It's so fun. And God, that's so beautiful how people like arrogantly and pedantically they pretend they're doing something, but really they're doing it for their own ego. I love that shit. Love that shit. All right, so let's see. Wow, Kevin Pine says Flyers are a lock.
It's a nice spot for them. I think Campbell is susceptible as knowing that he's the starting guy moving forward. And Budaj is a bum. I don't know what they're going to do when they have to put in Peter Budaj in goal.
See, I'm thinking if you like the Flyers, it's because you think, for whatever reason, Elliott's going to have a better game and it's going to go under.
Nothing to do with Elliott.
No?
No, it's Giroux, what Giroux said about the team, how important this road trip was, how they needed to bond together, and starting it off with that 3-2 win in the Ducks, I could see them rolling.
Gabe Paskey giving me some good advice. He's saying, the game starts in 9 hours, Pete. Relax. Okay. Thank you, Gate Passkey. Thank you, Gate Passkey. And Ryan Diaz says, you guys are great to listen to. Pow! Ryan Diaz, thank you very much. In the meantime, while we're not even talking about the NBA, we will get to it. But there you go. Hulk702 says, Pete, Kings Flyers game goes under. Okay, let's get, fuck. But now Kylie Reynolds says Flyers and over. Great, fuck. All right.
Hulk702 saying Flyers are going to play like shit. I guess
it's correlated then. There's Kings and under or Flyers and over. Maybe?
I don't even know about that, really. The Kings just don't lend themselves to back and forth exciting games. They want to give you no room. They're supposed to be taking advantage of the power play, and they haven't done that at all.
Wow, and Kylie Reynolds says, Colorado play of the day, Pete. Damn. Okay.
Wow.
Damn.
The Flames have looked very questionable on home ice.
And Dan Kelly hitting us up with NBA first half. Denver -2, -110. And then Tom Marino, guy from Philly, says Flyers sent a message to the defense by sending guys down and benching players. The defense looked much better last game. That's what I was thinking. Shout out to Tom Marino. Tomor, nice comment there.
Dan Kelly's play is so good. Of course, that's the play.
What?
I haven't had a chance to look at this card, but Denver playing down to their competition, knowing what the Warriors just did to that Bulls squad. We talked about how uncomfortable that card was last night. Of course, Cleveland feels good about themselves off their first win. I think that Dan's right. I also find that full game appealing. Very interesting that the line is moving in Cleveland's favor. Maybe that 5 is too much, but Sure, Denver first half, Dan. I am sold.
You want that one?
Oh yeah, that just makes sense. See, what Dan did for me last year was he talked so much about situational basketball, and that's why I would have got killed last night on that card. I would have got absolutely destroyed. But I knew that we can't take. You just can't believe in what you see in NBA, and just because Minnesota looks so awful without those stars, that just wasn't going to happen again. And obviously Utah, sure they should go in and smash this team, but it just doesn't work like that for whatever reason in this sport, and this sport mostly. So yes, I think the Nuggets are the play. I'll take the Nuggets.
That was one of my second half plays that I didn't tweet out. It was close, but I did have Minnesota plus 7.5 on my personal account. All right, so what do you want? Denver -2, -106. It's interesting. It did open at 3, and it's now down to 2. But Jimmy the Bag is going to take Denver first half -2, -106. Thank you so much, Dan Kelly. I have not yet tailed that, so as of right now, that's looking good. If I jump on that on the late show, that's a play you want to be off of and not tail us.
More plays coming in from Dan Kelly. Under 60 -105 first quarter. Kings Hawks. That's interesting. Under 59, also -105 second quarter. Kings Hawks again. Wow. So really liking that first half under. Very interesting. Loving it. First quarter, second quarter, first half.
Wait, which game?
Kings Hawks.
Kings Hawks. Really? So that maybe plays into. I was thinking. See, this is how. Another thing. Another hint is that you can combine leans on sides and totals, and you get a team total that might have some value. I was leaning. If Dan Kelly's leaning under, I was leaning Atlanta team total under. I know that Sacramento's playing a high pace game, but the last game they played good defensively. They played well defensively, right, Jim? What about the Atlanta team total under? Is this a team that can score? Can they?
Well, yeah. I mean, if we take anything from their first few games, they look like they could score. And then if you look at clearly this team goes where Trae Young takes them. And when Trae Young is off, they do nothing. They're barely using Lin. I've always liked Bazemore and Prince. In fact, if Collins was healthy, I think this would be an interesting team to back moving forward. I'm very uncomfortable with totals this early in the season. I just need more time to be with these guys.
It just feels like Atlanta team total under is a solid player. Is anyone giving an opinion on that?
Atlanta team total under no, not yet. Nas Lee, my man Nas Lee says Hawks will win. Eddie Euler says Hawks won by 46 last meeting in Atlanta.
Okay.
Art Hayes says, who's the best player on the Hawks? Dominique Wilkins? Come on.
Tom Marino says Kings look great. I think it'll be strong in up-tempo games here against Atlanta. Nuggets first quarter winner last night. Be a bit XN. Very nice, very nice. Let me see. Ryan Taylor, Kings Hawks over. Kings Hawks over. I love Ryan Taylor. He is also the guy who said Toledo had no chance of covering, or one of those things. We were all on Toledo when they won by 10. Right, something like that against Miami, Ohio. But Ryan Taylor likes Kings Hawks over. All right, we're about to wrap up NBA. Any other comments you want to shout out or picks you want to give?
It's just not right for me to. I've been focusing all my time on horses, and as I said, I slept in the office last night. It sucks because this is a juicy card here. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to hammer this as we're filming the championship Saturday. And tomorrow and Saturday are my two favorite days of the year. I don't know how the hell I'm going to do the audible while there's championship races going on. It's just goddamn awful that I've got to focus on football for those hours and not be paying attention. But I'll do what I have to do.
Yeah, I hear you. Stephen Alla, in the meantime, has set us up with another soccer play, which have been cashing play in and play out. Ryan Taylor says, how much Addy does Pete put in his coffee every morning? LOL. The answer to that is none, but I would love to get some. I would love to get some fucking Adderall. I'd love to find a way to get that. Definitely. All right, so I guess Ski Profit says, feels like there's some real money made up today in NBA. Got to find that gem. I guarantee you someone's going to be making money in NBA today. I don't know if it's going to be me. History suggests no, but maybe not. All right, I will. I'll have a lot more. I think I'll have a lot more to say about NBA in the evening show.
We were asked to break down the Milwaukee Bucks Boston Celtics game.
Okay, that game didn't have an overnight line though, so I didn't look at it. I only looked at the games that had overnight lines. There was so much shit to.
That's going to make bad video when they cut this video out for.
Oh, SBR. We were. Oh,
yes,
is that
we were
true?
Sent an email to break down the Celtics Milwaukee.
But there was
Bucks
no overnight line though.
What does that matter? We're breaking down a game.
All right, so let's break it down. Obviously, Boston is a team where at first glance you'll be thinking about an under, right, Jim? Although this line has gotten bet up 5 points, right?
Jaylen Brown will be a game time decision. That is a big deal.
Yeah.
Big deal. They are using the word planter in this foot injury. So this could be a more of a long-term injury. We watched what Jaylen Brown did on Blake Griffin. This guy is a gamer. He can do absolutely everything you ask for. Now let's move on to this Bucks team. This Bucks team is dealing with injuries. And first off, it's Antetokounmpo.
But they've covered 4 in a row, Jim. And they're rolling.
They're playing great ball. I mean, clearly Budenholzer knew what he was doing when he said, let's jack up 3 after 3 after 3 after 3. And Antetokounmpo has been cleared from concussion protocol and will play tonight, which will move Ilyasova back to the backup spot. DiVincenzo is questionable tonight. He's a guy that they want for, not for a long period of time, but for 15, 20 minutes, firing up threes. Has there been any movement on the line and the total?
Yeah, the total got immediately bet up from 216 up to 221, which is interesting. Because I would always be thinking that maybe Boston is an under team, right?
You would think that when Jaylen Brown is out there. But, Marcus Smart is also a sound defensive player. Hayward has not been scoring. This is a tricky team right now. Now, Baines was dealing with the hamstring injury. He is good to go. I feel like with totals, now the market, if you get in on an early total and you see the market move 3 or 4 points in your favor, you feel great about it.
Mm-hmm.
But these totals are out of whack as we figure out this 14-second shot clock off a rebound, figure out teams' pace as it's so early in the year. And I found last week I was making these total bets and I was hating every second of it. I had all this anxiety. I was so uncomfortable. There was a day last week, or maybe it was earlier this week, where I had 4 totals. It was Monday, I believe. I had 4 totals, and it was the least enjoyable night of watching sports ever. I hated every second of it. I just feel lost. I remember when you told me about when the college shot clock went down. And how you had such a read on totals. Can you explain that a little bit more?
When I perfected my strategy for college basketball, and I wound up coming in first place on covers. Yes, in that year, I think it was 2013 or something like that. First place on covers in college basketball. I wasn't expecting to do that well. I was expecting to have a good year. Did not expect that to happen. And of course, the big scam of my life meant that I wasn't able to bet into those lines. And maybe if I had all that money, I would have made different decisions and been more gun shy, been more risk averse. But then they changed the shot clock rules in college basketball, and everything just got out of whack, sides and totals and everything. And I've never been the same since in college basketball. I don't exactly know what happened. I mean, I'm sure there's other factors involved as well. But I feel so uncomfortable with totals
at this point in the year. Let's see what the chat has to say about this game. Tomor says, I like Milwaukee, have them to win the division, but they aren't the same team on the road. I think Boston keeps Giannis out of the paint. Fanatical Jim. Remember I said I was going over my notes in college football, and Fanatical Jim was giving out winners in totals, giving out winners on totals. He has Bucks Celtics full game over. So he trusts what that market's saying. Hulk 702 says Bucks plus the points. Tomorino, Milwaukee's playing well, but they haven't played any top teams. Dwayne Reed says Bucks win on the road. Send a message to Boston and the East and the entire NBA. Art Hayes says no Brown. Greek is playing, taking the points, easy money. Naz Lee says Boston covers. I mean, this is a Boston team that has so much depth. But Jaylen Brown is such a special player defensively. Bart Nelson says Milwaukee is a dead over team, though. And we know that was Budenholzer's whole game plan when he came over to this Bucks team. Crypto King saying Bucks has a fast tempo, but Bucks might get their first loss today. Yeah, and he did the same thing with the Hawks. It was a team that was very good in the first 2/3 of the season, ATS, and they were deep. And then it was a little bit different later on in the season and in the playoffs. But all right, so no play for me right now. I am going to look into this NBA card a little bit more later on. Go ahead, Jim. We have talked about the overs, and then I want to make everybody aware. We have also guys on the under. Carlos Luter, Celtics, Bucks under 21. Eddie Euler leaning under 21. Nosley, Bucks ain't really beat nobody. All under 500 teams. Very, very tough spot. And Yaya says, Mr. Jimmy, do I need to post my plays again? Yes, dealing with an enormous lack of sleep here. I would very much like that, Yaya, if you could add your plays one more time, and I'm sorry that I missed them. All right, so let's move on to college football now. There are 3 games going tonight. The one game, the quarterback for UCF is going to be a game-time decision, so I'm going to hold off until the evening show to even think about that one. I did bet Akron, though, against Northern Illinois, and yes, I did buy to 7. Obviously, there's a very low total here, and
it's expected to be a low-scoring, grinded-out game. Northern Illinois, clearly the better team, but Akron, has been scrappy. They've been, they're at home. It's supposed to be raining. I could see them getting beat. I understand the argument against it, but I did take a shot with Akron +7. Might have been a mistake. Also thinking about the Northern Illinois team total under, it does feel like even with the low total, it might be an under type game. It might be a 17-10 type game. Wow. I could see Northern Illinois winning 17-10. So I'm leaning Northern Illinois team total under, and I did bet Akron buying up to 7. And then the Ohio Western Michigan game is a tough one, right? Ohio's been absolutely rolling. And Western Michigan, of course, lost their starting quarterback. But the other guy who's coming in, this guy L&TB, he was good in his time last week against Toledo, but a lot of times you see these guys who have to come in the middle of the game, young guys, freshmen come in the middle of a game where they're replacing a guy who goes down. They look great in the first game where they come in the middle of the game, and then when they have a week to think about it, they have a little bit of a dud. On the other hand, he played great, and Western Michigan does have an explosive offense, and Ohio can be beat defensively. So, I'd be leaning. There's a lot of unknowns here. How's the quarterback going to do? I was thinking about, let me see, what was I thinking about? I was thinking about maybe the first half over and maybe the Ohio team total over. Yeah, my notes here are maybe first half over, maybe first quarter over. And Ohio's off of 2 huge offensive games at home against inferior defenses. Now they go on the road in a midweek game like this. So this is a little bit of a tough spot for Ohio as well. And Western Michigan's going to come in here fighting. Just because they have this freshman quarterback doesn't mean that the rest of the weapons on offense aren't going to be there and raring to go. So I would be leaning over. I'd be leaning first half over, maybe one or both team total overs. Not exactly sure what I think as of right now. Let's see if anyone has anything to say about this one.
A lot of stuff coming in here. Nosley liking Western Michigan to win, fading Ohio. Let's move on to this Akron spot. Nosley, I love Akron. Right below that, Hulk, I'm on Akron plus the points and the over in Ohio, Western Michigan. More stuff coming in here from Fanatical Jim, liking UCF Temple full game under and leaning Temple first half. Noli knows I'm on the under in NIU Akron, but it's lower now. Would still take it at this number. 2 really slow-paced teams with rain to help. Yeah.
And I was thinking about the Northern Illinois team total under and Waffle Twat. Waffle Twat likes Akron and the under. Great pick, Pistol. Pouring rain all day. Yes, is my pick on Akron plus the points a good play? I don't know, but Waffle Twat thinks so. Sure.
I haven't had breakfast. Bidirect Sports says Columbus, San Jose over 6. Over 6. Bidirect.
Yeah, I took the first period over, but I was also leaning full game over as well. Yes.
Bart Nelson saying Western Michigan defense looked horrible last week. Yais bringing in his plays. We're focusing on the games right now, but I'll quickly read them out. Eddie Euler already played Akron plus 7. Nosley, I'm on Western Michigan. Eddie Sanchez, Ohio wins by 10 points. Yais' plays for the week. Best bets, Arizona -3. Louisiana Tech, La Tech plus 23.5. Nebraska plus 17.5. Those are his best bets, those 3 plays. And then other bets, Washington State -10, Michigan -10.5, LSU plus 14.5. And he says, can you talk about Air Force?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll talk about Air Force. Hold on one second. First of all, I am definitely also going to add on, hold on one second. I'm definitely also going to add on the Northern Illinois team total under, which will be 21.5. I'm just checking Pinnacle right now. Northern Illinois team total under at 22 minus 112. I'm going to take that one.
Look at this, just back and forth. Nazli says Temple gets blown away, and Ryan Taylor says Temple covers easy tonight. Dwayne Reed's on Ohio -3 and Temple plus 12.
All right, I'm taking the Northern Illinois team total under 22 minus 112. That's the current line at Pinnacle. And I think I might take Akron, although I really want to take the 7. And it's 6 right now. I just want to see what it would cost right now to buy up. The Akron has taken some money. I just want to see what it would cost right now to buy up to 7 at Pinnacle. I'm worried it's going to be, 130, 140, something like that, 138. Let's see. Akron plus 7, 132. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to take that one. I'm going to take Akron, and I am going to buy up to 7. Plus 7 minus 132. That's the current line at Pinnacle. So I'm taking Northern Illinois, team total under 22, and Akron plus 7 minus 132, buying up to 7. And yes, as far as the rest of college football, I will tell you one thing I did. I did put 2 units on LSU plus 14.5. I did do that, not necessarily because I think it's a good bet, but I am almost sure that line is going to close lower than 14.5. I think it's probably going to, I wouldn't be surprised if that's 13.5 or 13 by kickoff. It probably won't be much lower than that, but yeah, I think we're going to see at least 14, if not 13.5 or 13. So I did put a couple units on LSU. It's one of those bets that I make sometimes where I don't necessarily like the bet, but I feel confident that the market's going to move. Sharp guys would tell me that that's the right thing to do, that if I'm right that the market moves in my direction, it doesn't matter how the game goes. I'm not sure how much I agree with that, but
Almac says love LSU.
Yeah.
Kyle Jack says, Pete, take NIU.
Oh, really? Really? Kyle Jack, tell me why. Oh, no. See, I know. I mean, Northern Illinois is great, right? They have some great components there. Might have made a mistake here. Dan Kelly says, Pete, are you underestimating the love public has for Alabama?
That's the first thing that popped in my head when you said that was, don't you think the public is going to back Alabama? It was the first thing.
Yes, of course the public was going to back Alabama. Yeah, but the sharp money is going to come in. The big sharp money is going to come in late on LSU. I mean, look, I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm just telling you what I thought. And what did I tell you about? Okay, you want to talk about Air Force and Army? Jim, do you happen to remember what I said about the total in that game? What did I say? Remember?
I can't remember anything.
Remember?
Right now. I'm so
remember when
sorry,
I said I thought the total was going to open in the low 50s, and that I was going to wanted to bet it down. Do you have SBR odds there?
I do.
Do you mind going and checking the line history on the total at Bet Online?
When you click on line history with this new page, how do you do it?
Okay, so you go right here. Oh, well, go to the game that you want to click on. Right. So okay, I'm giving Jim a tutorial. Unfortunately, we don't have a camera to show. But so basically, you click on that little icon. I don't know what it says. It's the icon all the way on the right. So you find the game that you want, right, Jim? Okay. And everyone can follow along at home. There it is, Air Force, and Army. You click on the far right icon, and then click on it. No, click on the far right icon. And then all the lines come up, and then you see on the top you can go to different book.
That's gorgeous.
So go to Bet Online, Jim, and remember what I said. It opened in the low 50s, and we get bet down immediately into the mid 40s. Remember?
Jesus,
and that's exactly what happened. Look at that. Look at that.
Opens on the 29th of October at 3:14 p.m. at 51.
Yeah.
Within 2 minutes at 49.5. You move on to the 30th, it's at 45.
Exactly what I said was going to happen. You remember that?
Yes.
Remember
you move on to Halloween, it's 44.
Yes.
You move to November 1st, it's 43 at 10:33 a.m. and it still goes down to 42.5.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, so I would probably be leaning Air Force. You know, Army has been great and been covering, obviously, and Air Force has not, but this is a different situation. I'd be leaning Air Force, although I haven't made a bet on that one yet. BT likes Northern Illinois minus 6.5. Damn, I don't like the fact that Kyle Jack really likes, Kyle Jack says, Pete, take Northern Illinois. Damn.
And Bart Nelson says Army should roll.
Yeah, I mean, Army, oh no. Nas Lee says Western Michigan and Akron and Temple gets blown away. Oh no, I don't know. Or maybe he's saying Temple gets, I don't know if he's saying he likes Akron or if he's predicting Akron to get blown away.
JS saying, what are Jimmy's NHL plays? JS, I'm focused solely on the Breeders' Cup right now, and it sucks because this is such a juicy card. Although I tried to help as much as possible, and I listened. The 2 plays, I only made 2 plays that made a lot of sense through the breakdowns. I'm on the Sharks minus 1.5 and the Islanders Pens under 6.5. I'm very interested in the Flyers, but I didn't want to just make a quick, rash decision. But I do think that the Kings are susceptible.
Oh no, Kyle Jack says this is a game. Northern Illinois stamps their authority on the MAC West. I feel a statement coming. I mean, they're a dangerous team. It's just that Akron has been competitive. Oh God. Yeah, I might have made a mistake there. Well, hopefully, if Akron does lose, it'll be like a 20-6 type game, and then I'll cash with the Northern Illinois team total under anyway.
Al Mack is asking if you can review your NHL plays.
Yeah, sure. What the hell? I got here. I'll review all the plays. Okay, these are all the plays for anyone keeping track, keeping us honest. Jimmy the Bag is on San Jose puck line plus 178. Pittsburgh Islanders under 6.5 minus 101, and Denver Nuggets first half -2 minus 106. These are all of my plays. Again, in college football, Akron plus 7 minus 132, and Northern Illinois team total under 22 minus 112. Those might have been the wrong plays there. I don't like the fact that a lot of the people I respect, including Kyle Jack, are liking Northern Illinois here. In NHL, I took... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yep.
I just am not thinking clearly. Brian S. just gave me his top picks for tomorrow's Breeders' Cup in race order. Are we going to talk about that for a minute?
In a second. First, okay, so I'm on Philly, LA, under 6. Columbus, San Jose, first period over, 1.5, minus 123. Winnipeg, Florida, first period over. Montreal, team total over, 2.5. Washington, Montreal, first period over. Colorado, Calgary, first period under. And Colorado, Calgary, under 6.5, minus 130. As of right now, those are all of my NHL plays. Beautiful. Okay. That's it. Now let's, all right, so we got to move on. We will be able to talk more college football in the evening, but we just got so much shit to cover that we got to move on. All right, and so now we're going to talk about NFL for like 2 minutes. You have anything about this one? Yesterday, someone was saying that they loved Oakland to cover here. You have anything about Oakland, San Francisco?
Yeah,
Jim?
yeah. Oakland makes sense with Beathard dealing with this 50-50 situation. It does seem like there's a little bit of acting going on and a bit of a show that they're putting on. And are the Raiders really a team you want to back? Rogers Cromartie just went from playing 53 snaps in week 6 to playing 0 in week 8 and retired. Great job, Gruden. Another fucking straw in your hat, or feather in your cap? Sorry, straw in your... God, I'm out of it. That defense he wasn't good enough to play for. Allowed 42 points in that loss to the Colts. You know what? I'm on a run right now in NFL, and I forced plays on that Thursday night last week. I liked the Texans. I was going to take Texans, but I also ended up taking the under. I've hit 17 of my last 23 plays, and this Thursday night screams, stay away. That's what it says. There's so much volatility. There's so much going on that we're not a privy to. Derek Carr is playing better. Derek Cook, he went 20 for 28 last game, 3 TDs. He says he wants to stay there. Jared Cook, 4 for 74 yards. Jalen Richard, 8 for 50 yards. Doug Martin turned back the clock a little bit, 13 for 72 yards. He knows he's the man right now. He's pretty excited about that. This Niners team was in complete control of that game before they were outscored in the fourth quarter. If you want to back the Raiders here, do it at your own risk. This is a team that doesn't want to show up to the field. Now, 37 Scanlon says, I'm here in San Francisco. Niners on normal rest would be the easy play here, but way too many unknowns in this game. I agree. And Foster being out is a huge, huge deal. Beathard 50-50 as of 9 a.m. Richburg, and when Richburg is out of the line, if you get Gilliam on that offensive line, the San Francisco 49ers quarterback is going to get injured because Gilliam just lets people pass. This is Dan Kelly saying easy travel for Raiders. I'm telling you this, I'm not going to let my record that's completely been fixed, because I was down almost double-digit units. And I haven't seen, can I see a good record? I have to see my shit NHL record.
One?
Can we put up the NFL record for a second?
Sure, throw the NFL record up there.
This was an ugly looking record. A very ugly looking record. No, NFL. Oh, you're doing it again! This is all planned. Did you plan this?
No.
Oh, come on. NFL. There's a goddamn F there. Jesus Christ. It's the one thing I didn't want to fucking see. God damn it. It blows up in my face. No NFL record? God damn it. I just want to fucking leave, man. The hell's there no NFL record?
NFL. All right. So we don't have the NFL record, Jim.
All right.
But that's okay. You roll with life's blows as best you can.
Yeah. That's, right. I haven't been blowing in a while. All right. Raiders, Niners. Hammer this at your own risk, or wait till the afternoon show when we have more information on Beathard and can put a legitimate plan together.
Let me see. Okay.
Ryan Taylor says, I'm going to side with the better quarterback in this game. Easy spot for Oakland. This isn't a normal situation. In a normal situation, I would say, yes, that makes a lot of sense. But how fractured is the Raiders' dressing room?
Damn, Paul Spart says Northern Illinois will handle business in this game. I agree with Kyle Jack and the others in this chat. All right, listen, maybe I'll pull it back on the evening show. Maybe I'll pull it back. We'll see. Pull it back means bet the other side and just donk off the juice unless you wind up getting a middle or a side. Okay, and now let's just move on to the horses segment, which Jimmy the Bag did ask me to add. Of course, Jimmy the Bag has been tackling the Breeders' Cup all week long. Jimmy the Bag, go for it. What do you have for us?
Well, what I have is I will be sending in my exact official plays because they are different from the plays that I will be betting on my account, because the Breeders' Cup, for me, it's not a fair that I'm going to be taking win bets, and a lot of these books, some of these books only offer you win bets. And for the sake of what we're doing with our record keeping, I'm only going to be using win bets. And do we have at least just to show? Do you mind putting up my Triple Crown horse thoroughbred record? We had a good read on the Triple Crown. I've stated this so many times that when you're betting on horses and you go to the track and there's a $10,000 claiming race, you're going to lose in the long run. It's just so hard to figure out what those horses are going to do. When you have $1 million horse, or these horses that cost $200,000 as yearlings or $725K as weanlings, that's when you're going to be able to really study and figure out how the pace is going to break down and how the race is going to be run. This is where you win money. And where you do it personally is on the pick fours. I felt this Friday pick four was very difficult. These favorites on the Friday card look absolutely incredible. BidXN says, Jimmy, if you have limited funds, would you play the 5 races on Friday or wait to Saturday? That's interesting, BidXN. If you had limited funds, would you play the 5 races on Friday or wait till Saturday? I guess I would just figure out, that's tough, because the pick 4 is on Saturday is going to be absolutely incredible. It starts with the mile, and that race is completely wide open. It's so wide open. That's a very tough question. Oh, Rocky's joining us. I love Rocky. That's a very, very tough question. And there's just so many different ways of looking at it. I guess, yes, I guess I would. If I had limited funds, I guess I would wait till Saturday, because this classic is going to be absolutely incredible. And I'm telling you what, right away, I'm not taking Accelerate in the classic. And I don't even think West Coast is the guy. I think that we're going to take McKinsey for a big score. I also am enamored with Catholic Boy. I think McKinsey could have, messed with Justify on that Triple Crown run. Let's quickly, I'm just going to quickly go over exactly what plays I'm making. Even though I still want you to watch my video, I will let you know what plays I'm making. And I do want to talk about Brian S., a great capper. First off, Brian S. likes So Perfect in the juvenile turf sprint. And I love So Perfect. I absolutely love So Perfect, but I'm going with exotics here. I'm going with exactor boxes with my 3 favorite horses in that race. Soldier's Call out of Great Britain. Sergei Prokofiev, who is, we don't need to get into the Russian composer that he's named after, but Sergei Prokofiev, who looked incredible in his last race. And that's a problem that happens in horse racing, is do you have a legitimate bias when you see a horse run great and when he fires just before this race, is he capable of firing again? That's a question mark. But I love these 3 horses: Soldier's Call, Sergei Prokofiev, and So Perfect. I have them in $10 exactor boxes, and then I have a $2 triactor box or trifecta box. We use different terms in Canada and America or whatever. I'm putting $72 on that race. And then Brian S. has Newspaper of Record in the juvenile turf filly. You know what, BidXN, this Newspaper of Record is a hell of a horse. And I do want you guys to watch the video if you can, but you don't have to, whatever. But Newspaper Record's a very special horse. I will be making a $40 bet on Newspaper Record to win in the juvenile filly turf. And just like you, BidXN, I'm dealing with a fixed budget as well. Now, I do have $300 that I could add to it if I need to, but I'm going in with just a $700 budget, and I don't want to blow it all here on the Friday, and I don't want to go beyond $1,000 on this 2-day trip. I'm exactoring $5 straight exactors with Newspaper of Record. I really love. That's the problem with the pick 4 on the Friday, is that Newspaper of Record, Bellafina, and Newspaper of Record. Oh Jesus, did I screw that up on the? No, I didn't. Sorry. Newspaper of Record, Bellafina, and Game Winner are just such incredible horses. And they're in that pick 4, and I just think that pick 4 is going to be kind of low. So I only put $13.50 on the pick 4. That was all I put on, and I'm going to be my pick 4 on Saturday that leads into the Classic will probably cost $80 or $100 or something like that. So yes, going back to Brian S. God, I keep losing where his plays are. So he's on So Perfect, whom I love, and that's going to be a double-digit score. He'll probably go off at 10-1, maybe 12-1, even 14-1. And then he's got Newspaper Record, I love, and Sipacan Harbor. Yes. Sipacan Harbor has done nothing wrong in his career and is going to be going off at like 12-1 as well. Sipacan Harbor, Brian S., I absolutely love where you are on this. Line of Duty he's got. That's very exciting. Line of Duty in the juvenile turf. Then he's got Game Winner in the big juvenile. And Game Winner, Baffert, Mike Smith, where have you heard this before? I think that Game Winner is going to roll in to the 3-year-old season as the favorite to win the Kentucky Derby. But whoever wins this race will be, at this point, the leader going into that. And we know that the winner of the 2-year-old juvenile rarely becomes the favorite in the Kentucky Derby, although that did happen last year. So my plays, I think Bellafina is an absolute monster in the juvenile fillies. So I'm with Brian S. on the Newspaper of Record. I've got Bellafina, but I've also got it tied to Sipacan Harbor in the $10 exactor. I love Sipacan Harbor, but Bellafina is absolutely spectacular. So I'm hammering Bellafina in the juvenile fillies, but I think you're playing on Sipacan Rider. I'm taking the speed out of it. Serengeti Empress, who has won the last 2 races by over 30 lengths, won the last race by 19.5 lengths. Serengeti Empress is going to go right to the front. There's other horses that are going to go to the front. I think those horses that stalk the pace are going to roll. And I think, Brian S., you liking Sipacan Harbor makes a lot of sense. I'm also liking Restless Rider. I have a $3 straight triactor, Bellafina, Sipacan Harbor, Restless Rider, and a $3 straight triactor, Bellafina, Restless Rider, Sipacan Harbor. And I like War of Will very much. On the juvenile turf, I've got War of Will. That's going to be a double-digit score for me. That's going to be about a 12-1 or 13-1. I've got War of Will. Now, Anthony Van Dyke is the huge favorite in that race, but starting at the 14 post, you want to have reasons to fade the favorite, and this is a perfect one. And I couldn't find reasons to fade Bellafina and Newspaper of Record and Game Winner. So I'm making just, on race 9, I'm making just a straight $60 bet on Game Winner. I like my action here. I'm not betting too much money. I'm trying to keep everything under control. I got $72 on the juvenile turf, $60 on the juvenile filly turf, $66 on the juvenile fillies, $76 on the juvenile turf, and $60 on the juvenile, and just a $13.50 pick 4 because I want to save my money for the big Saturday championship spot. Let's see. Steven Esposito says, can't wait for the breeders. Theodore McIntosh says, I thought the horses were rigged. That's why you go play the A track. And that's why you play the most important races in the world, because it's a C track when you're dealing with $5,000 claimers that you'll get rigged situations. Something that you'll find in the big thing we're trying to deal with here in the breeders is handling the European horses, because the turf is different out here, and that's the toughest thing to do in the Breeders' Cup. But one thing that you'll find in these C tracks is you'll have a horse that's run last place 9 races in a row in his local track, and then he's on Lasix, which is a drug that helps horses breathe. He won't have been on Lasix for the last 9 races. He'll go off at 50-1 and he'll win because the trainer and the owner know that this horse runs well on Lasix. So they take him off Lasix so that they get that giant score. Those are the kind of things that happen, but I don't think that happens here. Vegas Stacker says horse racing isn't rigged, but only play the big races.
All right.
Exactly so, my point.
Jimmy the Bag, are there any plays you want to lock in for your official record?
No, I'm going to be doing that on the Late Show today. I've got them set up, but I'm just so overwhelmed trying to get the Saturday video out. On the Late Show today, I will make my official plays for Friday, and then on the Friday Late Show, I will make my official plays for the big championship Saturday card.
Sounds great. We are running over, but we had a lot of stuff to cover, and we'll be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time for the Late Show. Thanks so much, everyone.